The sales charts have spoken. SUVs are definitely here to stay, but not everyone wants an SUV. So, if you need 7 seats but don't want one of those, what exactly do you get? May I divert your attention to the good old minivan, specifically the Honda Odyssey. For some people, nothing beats a minivan when it comes to people carrying and load lugging abilities. Now, the Odyssey's been around for quite some time now, over 20 years in fact. Now, with a barrage of SUVs and crossovers in the market today, can this sway you out of an SUV? Now, minivans have a bit of an image problem. They look a little too mumsy or dadsy for some tastes. Fortunately, Honda did a bit of effort sprucing up the design and not making it look like a box on wheels. For starters, you have these slim headlights up in front, endowed here by LEDs. Also, at the corners of the bumpers, you have these edges that are well defined that look like winglets. And to make sure people know that you are driving an Odyssey, you have this big brash grille. And lastly, if you notice, this little camera in front, which we'll get to a little later. It's not just the front that wants to make a bold statement. There are some embellishments on the side too, like this chrome trimming that extends from the tip of the headlight all the way to the third window. Also, it has these neat alloy wheels and more chrome trimmings down at the bottom. Of course, at the end of the day, it is still a van and it still looks like so, from that rakish windshield all the way to the high roof. But the best part about this Odyssey is power sliding doors, and it has very low step-in height. Now let's go check out the back. Off to the back, you have these large wraparound taillights, and this garnish down here resembles that of its front fascia, like a solid wing face, as Honda says so. Also, one benefit of this is this really large tailgate, which cuts in all the way down here to make loading heavy items a lot easier. Wrapping up all the design and bits to the rear is this integrated rear spoiler. Even here at the front, the Odyssey is festooned with creature comforts. For starters, you have this huge infotainment screen with navigation, various audio control systems, your phone connectivity, you even have your vehicle information display, and you can even change the views of your cameras. Now, for audio, you have your Bluetooth, HDMI here at the front, or if you're seated at the back, there's even ports at the back too. Now, the stubby gear lever is for easy access when you're driving along, and this touchpad controls your automatic climate control. As for the instrument cluster, you have digital tachometer and the fuel economy readings, and you have an analog speedometer. Plus, you have a lot of storage space here too. You can move this about, this cubby, and you have a deep glove box here too. For more comfort, you can even have these extra set of armrests, which are trimmed in leather. Now, let's go check out the back. As comfortable as the front perches were, it's here at the back, as you could say, are the best seats in the house. You have these neat, thickly bolstered and cushioned ottoman seats, of course coming with their own set of armrests. There's loads of legroom, even if you slide the seats forward. And of course, if you wanted more, you can adjust these. Best part is, it's absolutely filled with adjustability. You could adjust the backrest, the armrests, fore and aft, and even these ottoman leg raisers. Rear entertainment comes courtesy of this ceiling mounted screen, and from there you can watch your DVDs, or if you have an HDMI cable, can stream phone movies from up here. To keep passengers cool, you have these air con vents by the rails, and to adjust it, you have buttons up here. All in all, it's a very comfortable place to stay, lots of legroom regardless of how you slide it. Now, what about the third row? Is it still a good seat? Well, it's only one way to find out. In case you were wondering where the third row seats are, well, you're looking at them. They're right here. Now, to unfurl it, you pull this tab, and from the cargo floor are the third row seats. Now, to put up the backrests, you pull a tab at the top of each rest, and there you go. Now, third row space will depend on whoever's sitting in the second row, and in my sitting position at least, there's still a fair amount of toe room, leg room, and knee room. That said, cargo space isn't that sacrificed. You have this deep well down here, and you can even slide items underneath the third row seat. If you want to put the third row seat back, you pull this tab again, and you pull this tab as well. Pull from the headrest, and lock into place. Powering this minivan is a 2.4-liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder engine. Of course, it has iVTEC, and it makes 175 horsepower and 225 Newton meters of torque. To save a bit on fuel, there is eco coaching modes and an economy mode, along with an idle stop system. Transmission is a CVT, and it comes with 7 simulated gears. To drive the Odyssey is a very relaxing proposition. You got these lazy boys for your driver's seats, and got those Ottoman chairs at the back. Also, the soft armrest makes you just want to lean on long stints. Steering is light, as you would expect from a vehicle like this, although it has no inclinations of performance ambitions whatsoever. Then again, just by looking at the car, you probably figured that out already. It's nice and quiet, keeps most of the sound away. As for fuel economy, those used to diesels may be in for a little bit of a shock with the Odyssey. Around the city, you're looking at about 6 to 7 kilometers per liter, but when traffic gets really bad, you're looking at about 5.5 to 6. All in all, it's about on par with a pretty big engine car, although you won't be really stretching your mileage that far. The small fuel tank does limit range in some ways. Out on the highway though, it is much better. You're looking at about 12 to 13 kilometers per liter, for as long as you have a smooth road ahead and not much traffic. As mentioned, the 2.4-liter engine came from the Accord, and it has about 175 horsepower. Now, it may sound like a pretty substantial figure, but do keep in mind that this is still a pretty heavy vehicle. So, if you're driving around town, it's totally fine, but if you need to overtake, you might have to bury your foot a little bit deeper. Of course, that's not to say this car is slow. It can carry people, and it can do overtakes. It'll just need a little bit more time to do so, especially with a full load. As for ride, the Odyssey is one of the more comfortable vans in the market today, thanks in part to fully independent suspension. It wallows a bit when you're not loaded. With a full load, the suspension isn't really that phased by it, which is a good thing because you want stable handling and you want stability if you're carrying that much passengers and cargo around. Well, making the Odyssey a little bit more comfortable are these seats. They're soft and they're pretty supportive for your lumbar. And it's much more comfortable at the back actually because the bolsterings are even thicker there. The good thing is, even if they are soft, you won't sink into the seat, which can lead to backache in a long drive. If you find reversing into a slot a little bit too tricky, the Odyssey also comes with this. It's a 360-degree view of your car, as well as a view straight out the back. Now the idea is, the dynamic guidelines tell you where exactly you'll go into the slot, while the rear view cam itself will tell you how far you are from hitting the object in the back. Of course, nothing beats a good old pair of eyes, although a little bit always helps. All in all, the Honda Odyssey is a good vehicle. It's quiet, comfortable, spacious, and can easily fit 7 and their cargo. Now, it may be a limiting factor that it doesn't have a lot of ground clearance, but if you're not swayed by that, the price might. At 2,433,000 pesos, you might be tempted to cross-shop with other SUVs. That said, if you're not swayed by the whole crossover movement, by all means go for it.